Let's now see a demo of using sqlite3 shell. There are no files in this directory as indicated by a blank line and the output of ls. We'll now create a new database through this command sqlite3 followed by the name of the database file. sqlite3 databases usually have an extension of .db or .sqlite or .sqlite3. So now that we are in the shell, let's now create a table. We'll see that here, for the sake of readability, the casing is set to uppercase for keywords and mixed case in the case of table name and lowercase. sqlite3 commands are case insensitive, but the parameters are case sensitive. So here's how you create a statement, create a table across multiple lines. This was just pasted from my print buffer, but you'll see a continuation line like this on your shell. Don't be concerned about it. So now that we have created the table, let's now go ahead and insert a row. Oh, before we go there, the table name is student. It has three fields: ID, name, and age. ID is of integer and it's a primary key and it cannot be null. Name is a varchar. Up to 100 characters can be stored here. Age is an integer, and then we are applying another check that age should be greater than 0. Here is how you insert into the table using an insert statement. Insert into the table name followed by the columns and then the values. Although it's optional to specify the names of columns, I'd highly recommend you do this. It improves the readability over time. So let's insert another record into the table. Now that we have two records, let's perform a select to retrieve rows from the table. So here we have two rows. I've set the headers in my configuration file, which we'll soon explore, but in case you want to see this, so by default headers is off. So when you run the select statement, you'll see an output like this. To show the headers, you go ahead and issue the dot command. Of course, we'll read up on this in the next section. And when you issue a select, the column names will also be displayed. So if you want to display students where the age is greater than 20 and you want to display just the name and age and not the ID, here is how you do it. You have the select keyword followed by the column specification, that is the columns that you want from this table, and then you have a certain selection criteria. So now we have the name and age showing up. So that's how you use the select statement. So now let's move on to the next operation, that is delete. So if you want to delete students where the age is greater than 20, now if you run the same select statement, you'll see that there is only one student left and their age is 10. At this point, let's just say that you want to add 20 years to every student. Then here's how you do it. You have an update statement followed by a table and then the columns which you want to set. Notice here that the age column is used as part of the arithmetic expression as well. So since the age is 10, the age will now be updated to 30, and here the selection criteria is specified. If the selection criteria is not specified, then all rows will be updated. So happens that we have just one row in this table. Now let's run the same select statement. You'll notice that the age is now 30. Now use Ctrl L to kind of clear the screen and retain your SQLite prompt. Use .quit or Ctrl D to exit the sqlite3 shell. So this brings us to a basic demo of using SQLite. Now that we are back into the system shell, we'll see that there is a file called mydb.db. This is where sqlite3 stores your database, the database containing your metadata, triggers, the tables, and everything associated with it.